Hello, I'm Colleen Gallagher, CEO at OnWrd UpWrd, and you're listening to the Association Insights podcast powered by OnWrd UpWrd, where each week we interview association leaders from across the country to hear how they're trying new things, taking big risks, and delivering value for their members. We'll explore the realities of what it means to work in and with associations and bring you the insights and inspiration you need to advance your career and make big changes at your association. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Association's Insight podcast. I'm your host, Meghan Henning, and we are broadcasting live today from ASAE in Indianapolis. Today, I'm joined by OnWrd UpWrd's client and friend, Gail Kulp, who is the Executive Director at CETO Foundation. Welcome, Gail.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So, Gail, for listeners who may not know the CETO Foundation, can you start with a quick overview of the organization and specifically the Life Jacket Loaner program and how it works and how large it's become today?
Well, our mission is to prevent boating accidents, those that can be prevented. So we focus mostly on drowning and boating under the influence. And our Life Jacket Loaner program is the largest in the world. We have 1,500 locations where boaters can borrow a life jacket free of charge. And we have them from infant to adult extra large. So that's across the entire country and territories.
Which is amazing. So the scale is pretty remarkable. More than 120,000 life jackets distributed since the program launched and over, as you said, 1,500 loaner stations nationwide. With such a small staff, how have you made this even possible? How did it grow? How has it become this successful?
Well, we get our funding through the Coast Guard and we get Coast Guard grants. We've also gotten some state grants and some regional grants as well. But what we do is we have groups apply for them. So it's not just something that they get. They actually have to apply and explain what they're going to be doing with it. And then we give them a toolkit. So we give them everything that they need to have, everything that they need to know to successfully have a life jacket loaner station. And they get the loaner stand building kit, they get signage, they get marketing materials so they know how to reach out to their local media, they get talking points, they even get a step-by-step, like step 1, find a location, step 2, find partners that would work at the location. So all these different things, but everything is in that kit so that they know how to do it.
So you made it so easy for, all of your constituents to receive this. And I feel like that's such good advice for our other associations, because when you're wanting someone to participate, you kind of have to make it as easy as possible. And so I feel like you're living proof that if you're small, you can't complain that you didn't do anything.
Exactly. And we also have something that they have to do for us. So they actually have to do reporting for us. So that way we know that they're actually doing it. So there's an online form that they have to fill out. They have to submit photos of the stand. They have to count how many life jackets they still have, how many life jackets had been borrowed out, lots of different metrics. So that way we have some idea of how well are you doing. And they do the monthly reports, and then they do a final at the end of the summer report. And then we have them come back a year later and give us a final 1-year report in terms of, did anything change? Did you notice any changes in your drowning history, your drowning statistics? And what does your community think of it now that it's been around for a year?
I think that's also really just a very good idea. It's not just handing this stuff out, but it's asking for what is the impact, so that not only but then everybody kind of knows what the benefits are. You get to talk about, like today, when you get to talk about the benefits of this.
Yeah. And those that do not do the reporting requirements, when they apply to get life jackets again, we have that data. We know what they did or what they didn't do. And so we can say, I'm sorry, but you didn't follow the rules the first time, so we aren't going to give you more of the free things when you didn't follow the rules.
Right. So it's really like a partnership,
yes.
Really, right?
Totally.
So one thing I've always appreciated about the program is how much you equip the local hosts to succeed. As you mentioned, you have signage and building plans to PR templates reporting tools and promotional resources. How intentional have you been about removing friction for partners and making it easy for them to participate?
The biggest thing that we have as a takeaway is looking for the things that we get as frequently asked questions. And so when we have 5 or 6 groups that start asking the same questions, then we're like, oh, can we develop something else that will help answer this? Especially when it gets to be like 20 or 30 or 40 groups. And a lot of times it's, do they need some new talking points? Do they need liability forms so that they have a template for a liability form? Because some of the groups need that for where they're located. Some of them want to set up new stations. So how can we help them set up their own station versus get something from us and answer that question for them? So it's almost okay, what's coming in and how can we address that?
I love that too, because, as a communications person, sometimes you put together things and you think this is so clear and you send it out and, 5 people have the same question and you think, okay, well, this isn't as clear as I thought. So I love that you're on top of it and you're keeping track, because I do think as times change and as people change, it does need to be refreshed and collected. So I think that that's pretty amazing.
Well, and we always want to refresh those talking points as well, because the accident statistics change with the Coast Guard, especially for their local area. So we want them to fill in the blanks for their local area. So if they're in the Great Lakes, we want them to talk about what boating in just the summer was like, but how the water gets very cold. If they're in Florida, they're boating year round. So it's a very different way that they're dealing with life.
And I think that's good. That's a good point too, because you have to keep track of the entire country and the weather and the proclivities of different people in different areas. Do you manage that, as a group? Do you have, like experts within the community that are just sort of assisting you with that?
We do have our CETO captains. Our for-profit parent company is CETO Services International. And so we do have the CETO captains that are located throughout the country as well. So if there were to be a question or need a subject matter expert, they're going to be the experts of the water, of boating and boating safety in that area. So they're the first line of defense almost. And I can go to Captain Ramsey in Rhode Island and say, hey, we've noticed a bunch of questions coming from this area. What's new in that area that we don't know about? And maybe there's a new boating education law that so many more people are being required to take a boating education course. Or maybe it's a new area that is causing more accidents because they didn't have as much rain and the water's too low and there's a lot of extra rocks that people weren't expecting. So there's different things in every area, but being aware of that, it helps to have other people out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's like boots on the ground. That's great. So I know you had a record-breaking year in 2026, awarding nearly 10,000 life jackets to 224 organizations. What do you think that level of demand tells you about the need in communities? And what have you learned about scaling while still maintaining consistency and accountability across this distributed network?
Well, we were just 10 shy of 10,000. So it was 9,990 life jackets. Unreal. And really, I needed to decide how to look at all of the applications that came in and really look at all the data that came in. And that's where we have a license with Salesforce. And so we were able to take all of that data that came in on the applications and take all of the data, whether or not they were reporting, if they'd been past life jacket loaner station hosts, and really be able to compare and have a way to have those metrics that we can say, okay, this group is going to score really high. They've done their reporting. They've got life jackets. They've gotten pictures that they've sent to us. We have all of this information versus this group who didn't do their reporting, didn't have photos. We're not really sure exactly what's going on in their area because we don't have that information. So we don't want to spend the time to send them more things if that's not what they're doing.
It's amazing that to have that type of data and to be able to use it to make sure that you're utilizing it to the best of your ability. And it sounds like, of course, that you are. So that's good. For other associations or nonprofits trying to expand a successful program nationally, without dramatically expanding staff, what lessons from the Life Jacket Loaner program would you tell them to borrow first?
I think the biggest thing is to have really good support systems in place. So as you mentioned, we're a client of OnWrd UpWrd, and we could not do the marketing and PR outreach without that help. So knowing that we have the PR templates, that we have talking points, that we have even a media kit so that they can reach out to their media and know what they're doing. And then we also have a social media manager. And so they're providing images and captions and things that local loaner station hosts can use. And they can say, hey, this is already made for me. I just need to pop in my own picture. And then they have their own picture, but with a caption that we know is going to support the whole network, not just their local stand.
One of the things that I love too that you do is have the photos available. There's a link in the press releases, and then it's on the website. And I feel like that, just even that, is making it helpful for press people to not be like, well, now I have to email someone back, ask for the photo, wait for the photo, and then move. It's all right there. And so I feel like you've made it easy for both your members and your constituents, as well as for the press. And you've thought about all of those ideas, which is amazing.
Well, and it tells a great story. When you have good pictures and you can say that these pictures are approved and ready to go and all the people in them, we know who they are, we can point to them, but it shows what the story is instead of just people randomly picking a picture off of our website or randomly picking a picture off Google.
Right.
They've got our public image library.
Well, and I think because your story is such a good story and it's also an important story, it's a safety story, that really also is super important to have made it so easy for everyone that's involved. So I think that, our listeners, people who are, they might not even have a safety story, but making things as easy as possible for your members, constituents, thought leaders, I think is kind of the secret. Yeah. And then using the data. Mm-hmm. So Gail, thank you. I love talking to you, and it's so great to actually see you in person.
Exactly. Love it.
So we wrap up every podcast with a couple of questions just so our listeners can get to know you. And I know you've done this in the past, but we have new questions. So what's one small thing that brings you joy lately?
I would say my garden. So I have a vegetable garden. It also has sunflowers in it, and it is just producing like crazy. So I've got tomatoes, I've got zucchini, squash, eggplant, and I've already had to make my first pot of sauce. I have so many tomatoes.
Oh, I'm so jealous and wish I was your neighbor. What are you currently obsessed with? Book, show, hobby, idea?
I really like Ted Lasso is back. So that is really exciting, and it kind of brings me joy. And unfortunately, it's only one show a week. So I'm kind of remembering what it was like to watch only one show a week instead of, binging something. But I'm so glad it's back.
I am too. I decided that I wouldn't watch it until they all dropped because I can't go back to one show a week. That's crazy.
What we usually do. But this time we're like, no, we have to have it.
Yes. What is your ideal comfort food?
Lasagna. Yeah.
Good choice.
Lasagna.
Yes. And what's a travel moment that still makes you smile when you think about it?
I would say the beach. So my husband and I love to go to the beach. We go to Rehoboth Beach. It's in Delaware, and it's just peaceful and quiet, and you can turn your phone off for the week, and just it's our happy place.
Yes, I agree. There's nothing that beats the sea view. It's just calming and beautiful. Well, Gail, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by and for giving such a great interview with all this great information for our listeners. And I hope you have a really good rest of your show.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Meghan. Great to talk to you too.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. The Association Insights podcast, powered by OnWrd UpWrd, is a production of OnWrd UpWrd Marketing and Communications, where our mission is to make associations and nonprofits the go-to source in their industries through earned media and thought leadership. This podcast is an extension of our newsletter, a weekly collection of best practices, top trends, helpful ideas, and smart strategies delivered straight to your inbox. Have you undertaken a big change at your association? Or do you have some words of wisdom from the trenches of association life? Well, we want to hear from you, and so do our listeners. Drop us a note at info@onwardupwrd.com. That's info@OnWrd UpWrd.com. Be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share with your friends and colleagues. We're available anywhere podcasts are found. Come back next week for more association inspiration and insights. Thanks for tuning in.